What if I told you you're not lost? What if I told you you are creating yourself, you're developing yourself? And that doesn't mean that you're lost. And looking at yourself as a lost individual isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's something that makes us feel like we don't have our power. So if you feel lost and you ended up on this video, just know this video and this message is for you. I was talking to someone the other day and they were beating themselves up because they keep changing their path or wondering what their path will be, and they feel like they're at the age where they should know. And I said, you're not lost. You're literally developing yourself. You are creating yourself. You're deciding this is not in alignment with me, so I'm choosing something else. So if you are sitting here and you're saying, I know I don't want to do this, but I don't know what I want to do, there's no reason to beat yourself up because you're at least trying to figure out where to go next. And that's a powerful position to be in because that means that you have the power now. When people are lost and they don't know what direction to take, the best thing for you to do is to sit there and say, what brings me joy? What brings me happiness? That's how you're going to start to figure out what is authentic to your path. Try out different things and don't be afraid to try out different things. Put yourself out there. That is the only way to really get to know yourself. Now, there is a balance to it. Don't always be outside. Don't always be listening to what other people are telling you about yourself. Be open. The key is being open. When you feel lost or you feel you have no direction, be open so that you can start to gain different pieces of things that resonate with you. That's going to help you find yourself or feel closer to yourself. Some other things to do when you feel lost or you feel you have no direction is to hang out with people that inspire you. Hang out with people that pour good things into you, where you actually feel energetically positive around them. This is a good time to detach from anything that doesn't make you feel good. That includes gossip, that includes TV shows, that includes movies, that includes music. I mean, all of those things. Because at this point, you need to be open to new things. If you feel lost by doing the same routine, then you need to try new things. And you need to be open to seeing how these new things impact you. When you find that you don't like a new thing, it's okay to jump to the next thing. And this is the same thing with jobs. Some people feel like they need to secure a job by the time they're 21 years old, and it needs to be the thing that they stick to for 40, 50 years. No, that's not necessarily true. Could it provide benefits? Yeah, but you also never know what could happen. You never even know if you're going to live that long. So why give our lives to something we're not in love with? Why give our bodies to something that we're not in love with? You have to start choosing the things that resonate with you, and they will also bring you benefits. Now, the benefits are going to look different, but you have to choose if those benefits resonate with you or not. It is not up to you listening to what everyone else is saying. It's up to you listening to what your heart and your mind and your spirit is saying. You will know if something is resonating with you or you shouldn't be in that area or in that focus. Now, if you have a hard time with discernment, one of the biggest things to do is remain consistent with what you're doing and then start to become more aware. Okay, when I do this, I feel this way. Writing it down. When I do this, I feel this way. What are the pros to that? What are the cons to that? What am I learning in this moment? Writing things down and making them tangible helps you to understand the matrix that we're in. It helps you to understand things visually when you get lost a little bit in the sauce, okay? Sometimes we get lost in the sauce, and that's okay. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to cloud our judgment. But if you can get back and you can say, okay, what makes me happy when I'm doing this or when I'm in this place, you'll be able to find yourself again. I may just be going on a rant, but I really just want to let you all know that if you feel lost, you're just developing, you're building right now. You're back at your foundation and you're trying to figure out, okay, I didn't resonate with that foundation, but I definitely resonate with this. I'm going to put this block right here. I'm going to try this out. I maybe could take 2 or 3 blocks from here. I'll put it over here, and now my wall is starting to build. It's not all about finishing the process, guys. It's not all about being at the finish line. It's about the process. It's about building. It's about creating. It's about developing. It's about knowing and then unknowing and then knowing again. These things change. We are growing eternal beings. Things are not meant to stay the same the whole time. We are meant to grow. And I think some of the worst things about spiritual awakenings, that's also the most beautiful, is that you get to a certain point in a particular spiritual awakening and you're like, I know who I am. And then all of a sudden, you don't. And let me explain what that actually is. That's you mastering something and then moving on to master something else. And people oftentimes beat themselves up for being like, oh, I was at this point in my spiritual awakening. I had this discipline. I experienced this amount of growth. And now I feel like I'm back at the beginning. No, you're not necessarily back at the beginning. You're actually in the beginning of somewhere else, somewhere more, like somewhere higher, of a higher conscious, okay? And you're mastering that, you're learning that, you're developing your skills at that point. And it's beautiful because you realize this whole time you really weren't lost. You were just discovering yourself in a new situation, in a new frequency. And you have utilized everything you've learned in the past to bring you to this moment, to bring you to this frequency, to this vibration. And it's like graduating and then going to college, graduating high school and then going to college. And now you're like, dang, like I'd finally gotten the hang of high school. Honey, you're not in high school anymore. You're in college. You've reached a new level. And then you graduate college and then you get into the workforce and you're like, what the heck? I mastered this. Now I feel like I'm starting at the beginning. That's because you're in a new stage. You're in a new phase. And this is going to bring mastery as well. So do not be embarrassed to feel like you are down bad or you are lost. Know that when you are lost, it's time to look around, observe, and reflect and bring the tools that you learned before into this new stage, into this new place. And know that you've been here so many times. You've been at this point of feeling lost so many times, and then you realize every single time that this is something that you can master, and it's something that you will. So if you've been feeling lost, if you feel like you're starting back at rock bottom, trust and believe you're not at rock bottom. You're not there. You've learned, use your tools, remember your tools, and also be open to developing these tools. Be open to sharpening these tools. This is a new phase. You're learning new things. Be courageous enough to sit here and say, I know I can do this. It may be ugly. It may be scary, but I know I can do this. I have never had this exact issue. I have never had this exact moment, but I've had a lot of these moments that have brought complexities and challenges to me. And I am here today and I challenged them and I won and I'm winning. You're winning. You're winning. Never forget it. I hope that this empowered you and motivated you to take that next step in your life. And while you're taking that next step, you know that you are more than capable. You know that you have every bit of strength and power and the tools that you need to conquer this next step, this next level. And sometimes we just need to become more friendly with the level. Like if it gets ugly and you're scared, just know that you can become friends with it too. Know that it scares you and you can be honest with it. You scare the living daylights out of me. But I know that I'm going to figure out these complexities and these challenges. Just know that each of these moments are teaching us to become aware and unlock a new part of ourselves. So let that happen. Let it happen. Let it in. I love you so much, and I hope to see you in another video. Bye. If you're ready to face your shadows and watch that old conditioning fall away forever, then you should check out my book, Healer's Break to Heal, The Guide to Forgiveness Workbook. It's a hands-on guide to reprogramming your mind, body, and spirit while aligning you to the divine vision that you're becoming. Find the link below.